Oh, all right.
And we're on. We're live. How you doing?
Pretty good.
How you sounding? How am I sounding?
I think you sound fine.
Okay. What are we doing? I am playing with audio stuff. Let's see. We're gonna mute this tab.
Tell me real quick if I sound better real fast.
Okay, sure.
Let's go to voice and video and testing 1, 2, 3.
Uh, it doesn't sound better in my ears.
Okay, so I'll just go back to the snowball. All right.
That sounds better in my ears. But what OBS gets and what OBS has, I have no idea. I cannot comprehend what OBS does or what it chooses.
Sounds good.
Like sometimes I hear you just fine and OBS doesn't hear you at all, and it drives me nuts. Like, what do you do in OBS? I've got everything here, and you're not working right. We do chat, delete, paste. Okay, chat should pop up. Why did chat turn off? Like, I don't do anything with this program for a week. I don't touch it, and then I come back and all the settings are wrong. I don't get it.
Tech support's trolling you.
And we can turn. So I'm gonna listen to our student for just 1 sec. Program for a week. I don't touch it, and then I come back and all the settings are wrong. I don't get it.
Tech support's trolling you.
Okay. How we sound, Kyle? Low, Kyle says.
Right.
I can bring both of us up a little bit.
Hopefully that's better.
Yeah.
Ooh, before we begin, I have a surprise for you.
Oh my goodness, what do you got?
You see it?
What am I looking at?
Final Fantasy VI.
Oh yeah, I see that you are about to get started on it. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I figured I'd wait. If you wanted to stream it, we could do it sometime this week.
I would not mind that at all. It is one of my favorites. And you got a good version too. Yeah, the Steam version is very good. Have you given it a start yet?
Oh,
Okay.
gonna do a blind run.
Okay. Yeah. I won't. I'll just listen and listen to you talk about it. Um, what are the news today? And if we run out of news, we can start that up. How about that?
Sounds good.
All right. I'm going to switch to the main screen. Bring up the newsy sites that I had picked out. I sent you a few, but you wanted to talk about 991, right? The HB 991, defamation, false light, and unauthorized publication of name or likeness. Oh my goodness. It sounds so important. And I brought this up last week to talk about how this is the one where if I call governor of Florida a bigot, and he sincerely believes in all those causes, then he gets to sue me.
Okay, so a little bit about this bill.
Mm-hmm.
I went ahead and pulled up the actual text of the bill and
Mm-hmm.
read it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it's that bad. I think it actually is kind of a good bill.
In what way? What's it going to do to make the people
Yeah,
of Florida
so
better?
let me pull up the bill for myself one more time here
Mm-hmm.
so I can go through it. So part of the reason that this bill came about, I think, and I'm about to post a couple of links to you real quick.
Okay.
And I've got a little bit of video we got to watch so you can see what I'm talking about.
Okay.
There's one. And then here's the other. And if we open up the first link and skip to minute 32:35.
Okay. Loading it up.
Well, it's great to be here
32:35.
in Brevard
Yep.
County at Ugali High School. I want to thank Rich
32.
for continuing to do.
33, 34,
Sure.
35. 32, 35. Okay.
And then we'll go to 35:05. And
Okay.
I will try to see if I can hear your video on there. I don't know if I can.
Okay. 35:05.
So first of all, what you're saying is wrong. That's a fake narrative. So first of all, when we did the first pharmacies that had it were CVS and Walgreens, and they had a long-term care mission. So they were going to the long-term care facilities. They got vaccine in the middle of December. They started going to the long-term care
So right now
facilities
he's
the third week of
explaining
December to do
the process they used
For vaccines?
for, yeah, how they decided who was going to distribute them and whatnot in Florida.
LTC.
And the reporter it has asked a question, or maybe just about to ask a question, essentially accusing him of pay for play because Publix ended up getting the vaccine contract for the distribution to the general public, and Publix also donated $100,000 to his campaign at one point.
Okay.
So that's what the reporter is going to be accusing. But he's sitting here explaining right now exactly, why that's not correct, right?
That was their mission.
Okay.
That was very important, and we trusted them to do that. As we got into January, we wanted to expand the distribution points. So yes, you had the counties, you had some drive-through sites, you had hospitals that were doing a lot, but we wanted to get it into communities more. So we reached out to other retail pharmacies, Publix, Walmart. Obviously, CVS and Walgreens had to finish that mission, and we said we're gonna use you as soon as you're done with that. For the Publix, they were the first one to raise their hand, say they were ready to go. And you know what? We did it on a trial basis. I had 3 counties. I actually showed up that weekend and talked to seniors across 4 different Publix. How was the experience? Is this good? Should you think this is a way to go? And it was 100% positive, so we expanded it, and then folks liked it. And I can tell you, if you look at a place like Palm Beach County, they were kind of struggling at first in terms of the senior numbers. I met with the county mayor, I met with the administrator, I met with all the folks at Palm Beach County, and I said, here's some of the options. We can do more drive-through sites. We can give more to hospitals. We can do the Publix. We can do this. They calculated that 90% of their seniors live within 1.5 miles of a Publix. And they said, we think that would be the easiest thing for our residents. So we did that. And what ended up happening was you had 65 Publix in Palm Beach. Palm Beach is one of the biggest counties, one of the most elderly counties. We've done almost 75% of the seniors in Palm Beach, and the reason is because you had the strong retail footprint. So our way has been multifaceted. It has worked, and we're also now very much expanding CVS and Walgreens now that they've completed the long-term care mission. Yes? And it's wrong. It's wrong. It's a fake narrative. I just disabused you of the narrative, and you don't care about the facts because obviously I laid it out for you in a way that is irrefutable, and so it's clearly not. No. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. Yes, sir.
Okay. So
Okay,
what are
that's
we even talking about?
well,
If
hold
we
on.
okay,
I got another 15 seconds.
okay,
Or actually, what are you at? It ends at 35:05.
yeah, that's when I ended.
Okay, yeah. So now we're gonna look at the second link.
Okay.
If Kyle confirms it, at least viewers can hear our audio.
Yeah, Kyle, do you hear the governor when he talks? Because I suck at OBS. I have the second link loaded. It's a minute and that. 102.
Yep.
Okay. Should I
BAFK.
just go ahead and start it?
Yeah, go for it. Okay, so you actually only need to. You can skip to 10 seconds on this one, and then it's the rest of it. Well, too late now.
Yeah.
Um,
I have that muted. Jeez.
yeah, so same question from the initial one from the
But he
reporter.
declined our request for an interview. We caught up with him south of Orlando.
Publix, as you know, donated $100,000 to your campaign, and then you rewarded them with the exclusive rights to distribute the vaccination in
So
Palm
first of all,
Beach.
what you're saying is wrong.
Watch what
How
they
is that
do
not
here.
pay to play?
That's a fake narrative. I met with the county mayor, I met with the administrator, I met with all the folks at Palm Beach County, and I said, here's some of the options. We can do more drive-through sites. We can give more to hospitals. We can do the Publix. And they said, we think that would be the easiest thing for our residents.
But Melissa McKinley, the county commissioner in the Glades, told us the governor never met with her about the Publix deal.
The criticism is that it's pay to play.
Did you notice where they
It's wrong,
jump
it's a
cut
fake
and
narrative.
cut out
I just disabused
2.5
the
minutes of
narrative.
his 3-minute response?
Yes.
And then they talk over him for the last few seconds of this too. If you hear the narrator come on.
Okay. So,
Now, if you go to House Bill 991,
mm-hmm.
would you say that 60 Minutes accurately represented what he said in response to these questions?
Yes. They
You
can.
would.
Yes.
Not even close.
He just said bullshit.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did. He's just
There is
blabbering.
not
bullshit.
even-
You don't
not-
have. If he gives an hour-long speech, they don't have the time to put in an entire hour-long speech on the news. So they clip and they take the little bits. I'm just taking literally what these people. It's a minute long. His press conference was 40 minutes long. They don't have time to put 40 minutes on there, so they take the important bits, chop them, and then tell you what the results are. That's just
They
the
took a
news.
3-minute clip and turned it into a 1-minute clip and then talked over half of it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the point that what they're trying to do here is make it sound like he engaged in pay for play,
Right.
which is not true.
Maybe it's not true.
Well, there's literally no other outlet like when this got called out, everybody was like, okay, yeah, you're right. This was totally deceptive editing. Like,
So if they're deceptively editing, then we should not pay attention to that website. Which website was it? This is 60 Minutes. Great.
mhm.
Fuck 60
So-
Minutes. Hey, 60 Minutes. You're probably deceptively editing, and you need to do better.
Okay.
Oh.
Now let's go to House Bill 991.
Okay.
The bill text, PDF.
I don't want any news organization to deceptively edit or clip jump or do those kinds of things. That's bad.
Well, good. So if you scroll down to page 8 of the House bill, which I'll link the PDF to if you want.
I've got
Here you go.
something here, but I don't think it's the right thing. One sec. Okay, I've got the PDF loading slowly. Got page 8 right here.
Okay,
There.
now look at the second paragraph, the one that's got the 3.
editing any form of media so that it attributes something false or leads a reasonable viewer to believe something false about the plaintiff may give rise to a defamation claim for false light. Okay.
So you don't want media outlets deceptively editing, right?
No, I don't.
Great. Well, now if they do, you can sue them for it.
That has always been true. Okay, this gets back to the same thing that we always come in. You find a good thing in these bills, and tell me how good it is, but then we find a poison pill that ruins the fucking Constitution. And that's
What's the
what I
poison
think.
pill?
I haven't found it yet, but all the media places I know, they're not exactly going to be on the side of this
Not
bill,
being allowed to lie
not being
anymore.
able to lie anymore.
Yeah.
I don't think that this will be used on Fox News. Fox News literally lies. It won't get used on them. It won't get used on anything that falsely edits a liberal.
There is no language in here that would stop that from happening.
Right. It's the
So if
prosecutors
a,
who will choose who they go after, and they will go after whoever the fuck they want.
it's
They won't
not
go
it's
after
not
people.
prosecutors though. This isn't a state issue. This is individuals that are defamed are able to bring a civil lawsuit.
And they will clog up the courts with hundreds of these things, and it will never get anything done. This, okay, let me find what this bill has talked about in the past.
Now there are a couple other things that I think might actually be good things about this bill.
Mm-hmm.
So first of all, it does not make. I think I saw in a couple of the articles I read about it that it would make DeSantis and other elected officials not considered public persons for the purpose of defamation. That's not true. It actually does. Anybody who's an elected official is still considered a public person for defamation purposes.
Mm-hmm.
What it does do, however, is say that you can't consider somebody a public official, or not a public official, a public person um, for matters unrelated to the reason that they are a public person. So, for example, if you are Tiger Woods
Mm-hmm.
and Tiger Woods cheated on his wife a bunch of times.
Mm-hmm.
But if you then, as a news outlet, said he cheated on his wife a bunch of times and also beat her, well, the beating her might not be true.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have sources for that
Mm-hmm.
and prove it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, under the previous standard, which is actual malice for defaming a public person, it's really, really hard to sue that outlet for defamation, even though what they printed was not true. In this case, it's okay. Well, Tiger Woods is famous for being a golfer,
Mm-hmm.
so if you report untrue information about him unrelated to his golfing activities, he can and should be able to sue you for it. And I agree with that.
No.
Why not?
If they, okay, that already exists. This 991 bill is making crime illegal.
No.
It's
No,
making
it
it
doesn't already
easier. It
exist
already exists. These things already
because the
exist.
actual malice standard is unbelievably difficult to prove.
Yes, because we
And
live
it
in a
shouldn't be.
country with free speech.
Well, you don't get
I'm
to
allowed
just
to
lie
say,
about people.
yes, you do.
Whether you know
You
that you're
get
lying,
to.
I mean, if you
Ron DeSantis was born on Mars. I'm allowed to say that. I know for a fact that he was born on Mars. I'm allowed to say that. If he sues me for that, I don't have free speech. If he sues me for saying such, then we do not have a First Amendment. The First Amendment is gone. It has ceased to be, and you're only allowed to say true things. And whether or not he chooses to sue me and not other people depends on how powerful I am. I am nobody with no money. So if he sues me, but he doesn't sue MSNBC because they have 1,000 lawyers, and it would cost him. free speech doesn't exist. Free speech doesn't. We shouldn't be determining free speech by who has the most money and power.
That's not what's being determined at all. In
It's
fact,
it's
this
making a
this
wild.
bill actually would help a little bit, at least, in allowing people that are not as wealthy and powerful to sue people for defamation as well. Because if you have a clear case and you're a little guy, this bill adds entitlement for attorney's fees as well and legal fees to the prevailing plaintiff if the plaintiff does prevail.
Hmm.
So,
And
so if
if
you are a smaller entity and you have reasonable attorney's fees and legal costs involved in suing somebody for defamation, guess what? You don't have to worry if you know you're going to win that case. You don't have to worry about the amount it's going to cost you in legal fees to sue somebody.
that's if Ron DeSantis is talking shit about me. That's not how free speech is supposed to work. I brought up a something called the Tallahassee Democrat, but it says right here, I believe it will introduce a whole new wild west of litigation. And I think he's right. This is about intimidating free speech, chilling free speech, and silencing critics. That's exactly what this is. I think this is a very well put together sentence by Mr. Douglas Sowell. It introduces a world of wild west litigation. There will be people litigating left, right, and center. There will be thousands upon thousands upon thousands of lawsuits because of this.
That's fine.
That's not fine. They're
Every
not
time,
going to get
look, every
dealt
time a
with.
bill get like every time a bill gets passed, yes, adding a new bill that changes rules is going to result in some churn of the waters for a
Mm-hmm.
period of time until new precedents get set, and then it becomes much more concrete and cut and dry. And then it's not the wild wild west anymore. But you have to make new bills.
No, you
I mean, we
don't.
had this
You
conversation
don't
with
have to
the
make new bills.
we had this almost the exact conversation about Roe versus Wade being gone, right? I mean, yes, you're going to have a certain amount of chaos, but eventually it normalizes.
Until they shake it up again. Chaos is a ladder. Republicans want chaos. They want chaos so that they can come out on top. This is not about, yeah, it's not about settling things. It's about shaking things up so that they can profit and they
Did you
can
just
get more
quote
power.
Littlefinger?
Yes, chaos is a ladder. Littlefinger is right. Chaos is a
He
ladder, and he
he
causes
loses the Game
chaos.
of Thrones, you know.
He
Uh,
causes chaos so that he can't profit, and then eventually he loses. He causes chaos to profit. That's the entire
all I'm
narrative.
saying
That's
is
what I'm
that
saying.
every legislation that gets passed is going to cause at least a little bit of chaos.
Then it's not good legislation.
Then no legislation is good legislation. Let's
Legislation.
repeal the government.
How does if you cause more harm with your litigation, don't do it. Look at what it does. Do some basic comprehension of what you will do in the future with this legislation. And if it makes things worse, don't do it. If the people who are reading it and saying, hey, this is going to introduce a wild west of litigation and chills free speech and silences your critics, maybe don't pass it.
Well, I mean, look, this is one dude's opinion.
I know,
It's
and I share his opinion.
that's
I
fine,
think he's correct, but I
but
think this is
I
going to
don't think
go,
he is. I think this is
man,
fine.
I think this is going to go very badly.
Well, we'll find out. I mean, but it definitely
I,
doesn't seem like a bill that is everything's on fire kind of bill. It's not a. To me, this bill says, "Hey, you're not allowed to lie about people."
and
Not
if,
in not and put it to print at least. I mean,
right,
you
and
saying something out loud is on our YouTube channel is a little bit different than a newspaper with millions of readers
mm-hmm,
publishing lies about you.
mm-hmm, and we have a system in place to challenge those lies. We don't need a new law saying stealing is wrong. Stealing is legal. It's already illegal. We know it, and we have laws in place.
Okay.
Um, this
What about the
991.
blogs and
Mhm.
oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say 991 is an attempt by a governor to silence his critics and shut down people who disagree with him. He's using the power of the government to make people stop talking.
I don't think that that's the intent. Uh, I think the intent is to stop people from lying in print. Uh, and by the way, this legislation being in place would actually make it more. Well, we had a perfect example last week. Would make the defamation lawsuit by Dominion against Fox News stronger.
Well, sure it would. Fox News lies a lot. But
Well,
what's
it would
not
make the
going to
lawsuit
happen.
stronger because
Mhm.
at that point you don't have to publish. You don't have to prove actual malice in this case. It's a reckless disregard for the truth is enough, right?
And who will
So there's
decide
that.
that? Who will decide those things? Those things are going to be decided by judges who are Republican and elected by Republicans and or appointed by the Republican governor.
I mean, the judges are still supposed to be impartial.
Yeah, they're supposed to be, but they ain't. They haven't been for 30, 40 years. I don't trust them anymore. And I don't trust them because Republicans are nuts. They're fucking throwing out bills like this 991. They're throwing out bills. I've got a dozen more fucking tabs open of madness from Republican people. And then we've got judges that are saying they are Republican and they're voted into place by Republican people and appointed by Republican governors. I don't trust them.
I see. Well, I will say this is at least the judges are not politically motivated entities in the sense that they're not running for election.
I mean, some of them are.
Well, some, but not all.
I mean, judges
Not
are elected
most.
sometimes.
Some of them. But in any case, I mean, I don't think this is going to be the terrible, horrible situation that you think it's going to be. Um, there is one more part to this article that you brought up last week that you're reading right now. There's one that says there's a line that says something about a love letter to bigots. If you want to find that one.
Empower bigots. It also says that statements by an anonymous source are assumed false in a defamation case. Statements by an anonymous source are assumed false. Journalists use anonymous sources to learn about misdeeds in government, industry, and other sectors. They use them to expose what is going on behind the scenes so that the public not only knows about it, but has the ability to discuss and pressure their officials to act. Block said removing that weakens not only journalists, but public discourse. Anything from an anonymous source is wrong.
Well, there are plenty of instances where you're able to provide information to a judge that's confidential. The judge has the duty to maintain the confidentiality of that information for the purpose you can reveal that information for the purpose of a ruling. So if you have an anonymous source and you say, well, I can tell you who the person is and I'll tell you who corroborated it, and only the judge gets to know. And you can tell the judge, and the judge can then decide if an anonymous source could be anybody, right? I mean, it could be the janitor somewhere
And that's an anonymous source who saw a thing.
Saw a thing but didn't understand what he was seeing, and gave a completely incorrect impression of the situation that then they reported on. But that's not doing your due diligence. You're going to need to have corroborating sources and whatnot, right? So having an anonymous source, if you just say, "Oh no, my source is anonymous. I'm not gonna tell you who it was," or even worse, "Oh, I actually don't know who was the one that gave me that phone call and told me what was going on," then yeah, you didn't do your due diligence.
Okay, I agree. Due diligence is a thing. It already exists. We don't need this bill to get it started. Anonymous people, the anonymous janitor who didn't know what he was seeing can be thrown out, and it has been thrown out in court already. Such a thing
Well,
exists.
it hasn't. the thing is that if you
Nobody
have an
gets.
anonymous source, you publish something based on that,
Yes.
okay, without doing your due diligence, then the standard of actual malice in that case doesn't did not previously include uh, a complete disregard for due diligence. Essentially, like this is an anonymous source. Don't know, what exactly it is that they know, uh, or how they interpreted a situation. Maybe they did it improperly. If you, that's why it's saying that anonymous sources are considered false for the purposes of a defamation suit. But like I said, you could probably tell the judge confidentially
Hmm.
what your sources were without revealing them to the public.
Okay. That sounds fine. I don't know why we need a new law to do it. According to Joe Cohn, the foundation of individual rights and expression, passage of this dangerous bill will spell disaster for free speech by constricting the open debate that is critical for democracy to function.
Not at all.
I,
Um, but I guess we just disagree.
if
But
you're
no, I
worried
think
about
this
what you're
is
going to say, you will not say what you're thinking. It's anti-free speech. Like it's constricting speech. I mean, okay, we are disagreeing on the endpoints. I agree. Does this constrict speech, even in a way that you accept? That
even in a way that I accept it. So if speech includes lying about somebody in a way that can damage their livelihood or reputation,
mm-hmm.
then yes, I think we should curtail that.
Okay. Then that is, I guess, the crux of it. Um, I don't want to do that. I think constricting speech is bad.
I think this is a one step in the direction that you might appreciate. I mean, haven't you been telling me about how, there's, uh, it seems like people are living in two worlds.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's one way to get it so people aren't living in two worlds. It's
Right.
if there
I
is
agree with you.
lies being published, this makes it easier to uh, to sort of find, have recourse against those lies.
Oh, I think I agree with you there. We will all live in one world, and that is the world where Ron DeSantis's enemies do not get to talk, and we will have one narrative, and he will make sure that we have one narrative, and it's the one that he approves of. It is the one that he likes.
Well, you realize that this bill again doesn't have a partisan uh,
It will be used as a
language to
partisan
it.
weapon. It will be
It
used in a partisan way.
only if the left allows it to be. The left can just as easily sue people for defamation under the rules of this bill.
And the
So
Republican
any outlet that
governor can
publishes something
ban it.
um, about Hillary Clinton is using adrenochrome for
Mm-hmm.
uh, you know like life extending technology,
Great.
whatnot. Well, guess what? It becomes easier for her now to sue somebody for it.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
And if that bill goes before a judge appointed by Ron DeSantis, I am saying, this is my opinion from this point on, they will not take on the case. They will say, oh, well, that's fine, you can do that.
I don't think that's the case. So we just
I'm
disagree on
being
the
very, very,
outcome
I'm
here.
being very, very cynical here. I agree. Right now, I'm being very cynical, and I'm telling you that Republican judges will allow every bad thing to happen to Democrats, and they will fully prosecute every bad thing that happens to the Republicans.
I guess we'll find out, and then you can tell me I'm wrong
And that's what I'm
when
worried about. And maybe this bill doesn't pass. Maybe it doesn't happen. Maybe it gets shut down by the Supreme Court, which I suspect it would. Um, I suspect that the Supreme Court already, I mean, they already have had this debate. The Supreme Court already had this debate, and they already figured out, and then libel laws are put in place. Libel and slander laws are already put in place. Like, I mean,
Libel and slander. Well, they're extremely difficult to what's the word to bring action against
yes, they
at
are
present, and
because
I think that they're too difficult. I think they
because we
should be a
have a
little less difficult.
freedom of speech.
Yeah, that I get it. I get what you're saying.
Hmm.
I still don't think you should just be able to lie about people.
Okay. I think you should be able to lie about people, but we should all tell each other who's lying and figure out who's lying and then not pay attention to them and run them out of business.
Yes, and that is how you get to realities.
Mm, no, how you get to reality is people who want the lie to be true, and so they believe it and they press it and they forward it and they keep propagating it, even though they ignore reality.
I got you. All right, there's one more thing about this bill
Okay.
that I want to bring up, and it was highlighted in your article.
Okay.
Uh, so if you go to that article again, and you go to the part where he quotes, it's the part that says a defendant cannot prove the truth of an allegation of discrimination with respect to sexual orientation or gender identity by citing a plaintiff's constitutionally protected religious expression or beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
And then a defendant cannot prove the truth of an allegation of discrimination with respect to sexual orientation or gender identity by citing a plaintiff's scientific beliefs. So,
Mm-hmm.
if you are a small business, for example, or a tech startup, okay, and you fire an employee who is homosexual, for
Mm-hmm.
example, all this is saying is that you can't turn around and say, I was fired because I am gay. And then when you're asked why you're saying that, you say, well, my boss is Muslim and Muslims don't like gays. That is not a justification for essentially, you're going to bring a huge backlash against this business for this. Now, if there was discriminatory behavior that took place or something else that you can point to that you can prove you were discriminated against on the basis of that, that's fine. Like if there were comments made to you negatively at the workplace and or you were actively discriminated against in other ways, like not being invited to like a work party or something, anything
So,
other than,
okay.
well, my boss is a Muslim, right?
Okay. I'm
That is what that is saying. Is
not
you
following
can't
you.
just
These
say,
things already exist. Workplace discrimination law exists. We have that. And well, so
I know
what
we
is
do.
this bill trying to change? What is this bill updating? What is it changing? I couldn't follow. I heard what you said, but I'm like not sure what this bill is doing.
Well, so workplace discrimination law
Hmm.
and being able to claim that you were fired for a particular reason are two different things. So if you call up a news outlet, or if this guy that gets fired calls up a news outlet
Hmm.
and says, I was fired because I'm gay,
Hmm.
and the reason is my boss was Muslim,
Hmm. And then
then the
the
news
paper
outlet runs
runs
with
it.
it. Exactly. That is the paper publishing something that they didn't do their due diligence on, or at least get another reason.
Hmm.
And if they publish an outlet saying, or they publish an article saying, tech startup fires gay man, uh, are they bigoted? Right? Then that is a problem, and
I
they
don't
don't get to
think
do that.
that's what happens. First of all, that if that happened, it would be a problem. If the uh, news organization doesn't do its due diligence, yes, I can see it being a problem. And then the company can sue the news organization. That already exists. That happens now. That happened with Dominion. Dominion did it without this Florida law. What is the Florida law doing?
That the Dominion lawsuit is a completely different situation from what I'm talking about.
It's exactly the same. A news organization said a thing that was not true. It hurt the company. The company is suing. That already exists. We don't need Florida 991 to do that. That exists.
All this is saying is that the boss's or somebody's religion is not proof of discrimination.
So it's lowering the bar on what's considered defamation.
Very, very slightly, but under a constitutionally protected belief.
I'm not sure what that has to do with anything. If if we give too much credence to constitutionally protected beliefs, it laws are going to go out the window. Order and law and order is going to go right out the window.
Well, there's a difference between beliefs and actions, again,
Yeah, I know.
which
But if your
if
belief leads you to an action, and then you say, "Oh, well, I believe it, so it's okay," and we
exactly
accept
wrong.
that,
No.
well,
Nope.
that's what's going to happen. That's what's
That
coming.
is
That's what's
that's
absolutely
not
going to
what
happen.
happens. It's not how it works. That
That's
is not what will happen. We already I'll give you a perfect example.
okay.
If you believe that um as part of your religion, you have to kill somebody, and then you go
Mm-hmm.
do it, and then you don't get to say, "Oh, well, it's part of my religion."
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't work like that.
No, it doesn't at the moment because you have
Exactly.
laws that are more important than your beliefs.
It doesn't work like that. So
Right.
even if you have that belief, you don't get to go kill people
Okay. Well,
because
it's my
it's
belief that
against
I
the
get
law.
to fire gay people. You know,
Well,
like
again,
where do we draw
you
those
don't get to
lines? These
discriminate.
lines get pushed. They're pushing lines. They're lowering the bar on what's considered defamation to make us stop talking.
I don't think that's the case at all. I think that this is
Then
a maybe you think it's an overcorrection. I think it is far too difficult um, to prove a defamation lawsuit at present, and I think this is a correction to that.
okay.
Now, maybe it might be an overcorrection. We'll see.
Well,
But I think for now, the idea is about right.
okay. The and that's fine. That if you're thinking that it's too hard to sue someone for defamation, then that's fine. That's a political stance. That's acceptable to me. Um, we can leave that there. I will give you that last word on it. So the
Okay.
bar is too high for defamation, in your opinion. That's fine.
Yes.
Okay. What is the next crazy Florida bill? Um, Florida courts could take emergency custody of kids with trans parents or siblings, even if they live in another state. So that's a little bit overdoing it. But
Ooh,
um,
I don't think I saw this one.
Florida,
I don't know if you sent this one
I
to me.
found it this morning, and
Okay.
the headline was so wild I had to click it.
Okay.
It might, and I've just barely skimmed it, so we might have one of those headlines that are over exaggerating. Senate Bill 254 would grant courts emergency custody of kids who receive gender affirming care. The bill introduced Friday would allow for the courts to modify out of state custody agreements, and the bill would grant official authority under the law that protects kids from domestic violence. So, um, court authority to take emergency custody of kids under the same statute that protects them from domestic violence and abuse. Uh, the state could take temporary custody of children if it is necessary in an emergency to protect the child because the child or a sibling or a parent of the child is at risk of being subjected to the provisions of sex reassignment prescriptions or procedures. So you just get to take the children away? It's very strange. I know this hasn't passed yet, but this is the things that are coming out of them. This is what Florida Republicans are saying they want to do.
Okay. Let's table this one so I can read the bill.
Okay.
and we'll
That
talk
is
about it next week.
totally fine because I just clicked on it real quick because of the wild headline. But that's a wild headline. And yeah, legal kidnapping. And so I will write this number down. And maybe we should only talk about the things that actually pass. But I mean, uh, if you're elected and you're in charge and you start telling me what you want to do and what you want to pass, isn't that like newsworthy? Is that important? Or
Sure.
is this just virtue signaling that I should ignore? I don't know. Right, more Florida bill. Florida bill would require bloggers who write about governor to register with the state.
Okay, so the headline's a little misleading on this one. I read this bill too.
Okay.
This bill, there's an additional, and that sentence is also untrue.
That sentence is untrue? Okay.
That sentence is a lie.
Okay. WFLA.com.
Because
Lying to me.
they are lying to you.
Okay.
Because in that bill, there is an additional half of that sentence. Or not half, but there are additional words to the sentence. It's any blogger that is receiving payment for the express purpose of writing about government officials has to register with what the article is that they've posted and how much they're getting paid for it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. So if you are a blogger who's just throwing his opinion out there on the internet and you're not getting paid by some person or entity for it, then you if you're not being commissioned to write about this person, then you don't have to register.
Mm-hmm. What about a YouTuber who makes $12 from YouTube and talks about Ron DeSantis? Do they have to register with the
So my interpretation of this bill, and first of all, bloggers is like specifically defined, so it wouldn't be YouTubers, but bloggers are in the bill. It defines a blog post as something that's written essentially on a blog website, an article or some similar thing. Excuse me. But so not YouTubers, bloggers specifically, and it's if you get paid to write a post about a specific person. So if you are a blogger that has a Patreon, for example,
mm-hmm.
and you're receiving Patreon donations, that's still not the same thing as actively being commissioned to write an article about a particular person or a particular government entity,
mm-hmm.
right? So the way I read this is it's kind of like, you know how every political ad that you see on TV, regardless of who it's for, at the end they have to say, this message paid for by, American Liberty PAC or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is essentially saying, hey, if you're a blogger that's being commissioned to do articles on public officials, then you have to do that too.
First they came for the bloggers and I said nothing because I was not a blogger.
Well, just don't take commissions to talk about specific public individuals.
Why not?
It's really easy. Or if you do take commissions,
well,
then just follow the rules and
these rules
write your
used to
article
exist.
and then register with it.
Great.
And then to register it. Who paid
Great.
you? I mean, this doesn't restrict anybody's speech. This is if you're a blogger
No,
who
it puts you
receives
on
a
a
commission to
list.
talk specifically about somebody.
No, it doesn't. It stops them. It gives them a hurdle and a thing to slow them down, and puts them on a list. And then when that blogger,
It doesn't slow
all the
anything down,
rules,
actually. No, you write the article first, you publish it. Now you have 5 days to register who you got paid for it, if you did get paid at all.
Uh-huh.
So that doesn't slow anything down. It just means that once you do it, you have a paper to file.
Right, you have a paper to file. Great. And then now the government knows more about you, and that's fine. I don't mind the government knowing things about you. But you're on a list now. They're making lists of people. And you know what the Governor DeSantis is going to do once you mention something from that blogger? Hey, this blogger said that. And he's like, oh, well, he's paid by somebody something. You can't trust
Great.
him, even though the things he said are literally factual. This is going to be used as an excuse not to listen to the blogger because they're paid. This is discrediting them, honestly. And maybe they
Yes,
are saying lying things.
if you are paid by a specific PAC or entity of some political disposition to write an article, it's obviously going to be slanted in a particular direction according to the one that was commissioning that article. So yes, you should know what the monetary backing of that article is. Who's
Mm-hmm.
funding it? Who paid to have it written? Because that is going to influence the slant of it. It's not discrediting. It's transparency.
Great. You want to do that for the government? You want to do that for PACs? I would want that for PACs more than bloggers.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
but that's not going to happen because PACs have billions of dollars and bloggers have none. So the poor people have to register and account for every single fucking dime, while the giant multi-billionaire PACs don't, because money is power and they don't want to do this. That PAC that you mentioned on the TV commercial comes out. Oh, paid for by blank and blank PAC. Yeah, who put the money in the PAC? You don't know.
Well, yes, you
Nobody
do, because Super
knows.
PACs donors are required to. Super PACs are all required to report their donors.
No.
Yes, they are. All Super PACs are required by law to disclose their donors. True.
Not disclosed to voters. In the United States, some types of nonprofit organizations may spend money on campaigns without disclosing who their donors are. So if you donate millions to a PAC, you don't have to. But if you are a blogger and you make $75, you do. 501c4, often called social welfare organizations. Such organizations can receive unlimited donations from corporations, individuals, and unions. Proponents of dark money maintain its protection of the First Amendment, while critics complain recipients of dark money, as with any contribution, know exactly who he owes a favor, but voters are kept in the dark about the connections between donor and politician when favors are paid back. This will continue. This is billions of dollars being thrown around and nobody knows it. But the bloggers who criticize Ron DeSantis have to register. There are two systems. There's the system for the rich and there's the system for the poor. And the system for the poor is far more restrictive. This is going to stop bloggers. Well, it's not going to stop them. It's just going to put them on a list and it's going to scare them. It's going to scare them out of doing their job. It's going to scare them out of doing what they're doing, and it's going to open up a slippery slope where the next people are YouTubers, and then the next people are TikTokers, and then the next people are news organizations. I I said nothing when they came for the bloggers because I was not a blogger, and then they came for the TikTokers, and I said nothing because I'm not a TikToker. Then they came for the YouTubers, and no one stood up for me. Like that's
All right.
exactly what's going to happen.
So really quick about Super PACs, they are required by law to disclose their donors. However, they have found loopholes in order to hide donors in some cases.
Because they
So
have
yes.
lots and lots and lots of money that the bloggers don't
Well,
have.
guess what? Guess what? I have a solution.
Uh-huh.
Close the loopholes, force them to disclose all their donors. Because they're currently required by law and they're using loopholes to not do it in all cases.
I agree, but Republicans won't do
Okay.
that.
Well,
You can't.
then maybe the Democrats need to do that.
Maybe they should, but they don't want to do that either. There's.
See, I'm being consistent here.
I know.
I'm also fine with super PACs having to disclose all of their donors and closing the loopholes for them to hide them.
I know you are, but it won't
Okay.
matter.
So
why would you start
when I
from
say
the
that
littlest guy?
when I say that I'm okay with
Uh-huh.
a blog post being commissioned, but then if you do commission a blog post, then that has to be registered as a paid piece. Fine. Just like you have to register your political uh, advertisements on TV and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So we're in agreement that dark money is bad, and um, if the people at the top had to register, I would be okay with that blogger registering. But why would you start with the blogger? There's, it's raining, and you're complaining about the puddle. It's at the bottom.
I got you. I mean, I see where you're coming from. I do. Um, and hey,
And
even if you don't like this
yeah,
bill, guess what? It doesn't even have a sponsor in the House,
okay,
so probably not going to get passed anyway.
okay. So I'm freaking out over something that isn't going to pass, and I mean, it's just they keep the Florida bills that are coming out are just nightmarish to me. What do we got? What did I click on this one for? Information dissemination. This is something else. I don't know what this is. 1316. Oh, okay, okay. Hey, a Texas bill. Let's change things up.
All right. I'm glad we're not talking about Florida anymore. Jesus.
I know. Well, they're doing their best over there. Texas GOP bill would give major tax cuts to straight, never divorced parents. If you make it to kid number 10, there's an extra reward for
Wow.
you.
Well, hey, there's one way to improve your birth rates, right?
100% of property taxes for heterosexual married couples with 10 children. That that's weird, right? Like we shouldn't be passing laws based on specific things like that, should we?
Well, this is something that has been kicked back and forth by a lot of people to combat um, our falling birth rates. So
We have falling birth rates.
yeah, we have. I mean, we're going to end up at some point. Well, let me reword that. Yes, our birth rates are falling, and I do believe that the U.S. is currently below replacement rate.
Is that good?
No, no, it's not, because eventually you end up like Japan or China, where you're gonna be a very top-heavy population with a lot of old people that can't work,
Don't we already
and a
have that?
very few young people to support them.
Did that happen with the baby boom? I want to see a graph.
Well, the baby boom was a one-off event, whereas what we're talking about is a long-term.
This graph right here.
Yeah, we're inducing right now, with by nature of our falling birth rates, a long-term uh, issue that is going to span multiple generations, as opposed to the baby boom for one.
Okay, what issue is it that we're gonna have to deal with?
Too many old people and not enough young people. That's literally it.
That's it. Well, that doesn't sound like a horrible problem to me.
Well, it is, because it means one of two things. Either you can't support your old people because you don't have enough young people to do it, or the old people have to continue to work until they die. Like, you pay for Social Security with taxes through
Right,
work. If you don't have enough young people working, you can't pay Social Security anymore.
right, because there are only this many people working down here and this many people on Social Security, right?
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
And
So you need young people. You need to have a decent balance of young and old people in order to maintain the system that we have right now.
okay. And we can't just change the tax law to compensate.
Probably not.
We have to have people
Yes, we're gonna
to
need people.
tax.
We're gonna need people to produce.
Mm.
It's not just taxes; it's also production.
Mm, okay. So if there are fewer people there,
if there are fewer people producing goods or producing labor, you have less labor to tax.
Right.
Or you have less wealth, or you have less goods to tax, which means you have less tax revenue. Even if you increase the tax rate, well, you're just kicking the can down the road a
Going
little
into
bit further.
right. Then the government has to go into debt to cover these things,
Uh huh.
and then
So you need young
hopefully
people.
we need people. Okay. I mean, that's fine. I'm not arguing that
Okay.
we don't need any more people.
So I'm not even saying that any of this in defense of the bill itself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying I understand where they're trying to go with this. Okay. Birth rates are too low. We need to get them up above replacement again, or at least to replacement.
And they're going to do that by not taxing these people. Isn't that the opposite of what we were just mentioning? If you have more people, you get a break on your taxes. But we need the people to be taxed to pay for the old people.
This is on. This doesn't wipe away all of their taxes.
Okay.
This is, I believe it's actually tax credit. Let me double check this one more time. So, yeah, they get a credit off of their property taxes
Mm-hmm.
for every child after the third,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, now, that, I mean, property taxes are just one part of all the taxes that that family is going to be paying,
Okay.
right? I mean, if you are if you have 10 kids, you're spending a lot of money. That's going
I
to be
agree.
taxed. You have to be bringing in a lot of money. That's going to
Mm-hmm.
be
Well,
taxed.
you don't have to. But go on. We're talking about Texas. You can live on. You could be dirt poor and have 10 kids.
Well, sure. They're not going to have a great life though, I suppose.
Right.
But yeah. And then property taxes are not that big of a deal, I don't think. To get a credit off your property taxes, and one thing I didn't catch in this bill, I was reading it last night, so maybe I missed it.
Mm-hmm.
But does the married couple get 100% off their property taxes for life, or is it just while the children are living with them?
I'm not sure.
Well, that'd probably be good information to have, right? I mean,
It was just a wild ass headline that I'm trying to wrap my head around what the hell they're thinking.
well, the headline's a little misleading too. So, it says GOP bill will give major tax cut to straight never divorced parents,
Mm-hmm.
right?
I mean, that's a
So,
true statement.
mm, somewhat,
Language in the
yes.
bill defines qualifying child, natural child, adoptive. What constitutes a qualifying married couple, you may ask? Well, it means a man and a woman who are legally married to each other and neither of whom have ever been divorced,
Yeah.
which is a weird. Uh,
Okay.
what's the word?
So, well, I think what that's trying to do is say that a man and a woman who each had 3 kids with somebody else, and then both of them got divorced, and then they remarried. They're not immediately entitled to a 60% off property tax credit.
That's a weird virtue signal, isn't it?
Maybe. Um, and then there's the little bit about specifically straight parents. Also true, but that's because you can't. That's because homosexual couples um, are not allowed to adopt a kid in Texas. So you can disagree with that, but
It's more virtue
the
signaling.
law as written is it doesn't go against any current or let's say it's in line with current Texas law.
And they've done.
You can disagree with the current law in
I don't know.
Texas.
It. Someone in chat says it seems selective and exclusionary, and I agree. It seems exclusionary to me. It seems like they're selecting the people they want to have more of. Um, I suppose that's what they're going for here. I assume that this guy's done the math and said that the taxes that the 10 children are paying, like you mentioned, the the adults are paying lots and lots of taxes by buying things, which is fine, and that offsets the property tax that they would be paying. I don't know if it's it seems like a weird virtue signal that hasn't had the math done on it, and I haven't looked for the math.
Maybe. I mean, again, we'll also see if this even gets passed.
I know. Again, does not gonna it might not get passed. Probably wouldn't. We have to move on from, and so that was the entire wild shit section of the stream where we discuss crazy things that might not pass.
Always the most fun part.
Yeah, it's just if I mean they get elected and then they tell us their plans, and I think the plans are nuts. And maybe the plans don't come to fruition. You may be right. South Carolina woman arrested for allegedly taking abortion pills. South Carolina is one of the few states that criminalizes self-managed abortions. So, she, I think, yeah, October, she took pills. 33 at the time, sought medical care for labor pains at the hospital where she had stillbirth right because of the pills. The woman informed medical staff she had taken abortion pills. The Greenville coroner's office reported the tip, reporting a death investigation of a fetus to the police. Then they arrested her. I think that's a bad sign. Um,
Well, South Carolina has laws against that,
right,
right? So she literally broke the law, and they arrested her for it.
right.
So you don't like the law.
No, I don't like that law.
That's fine.
That law is bad. Pregnancy outcomes shouldn't be criminalized.
Okay.
I think she
That
should
is a
have,
fine stance
she
to have.
100% has the right to take that pill any damn day she wants.
Sure.
And if she doesn't, then she doesn't have rights. And I like rights. I like human rights. They're good. We should give them to people.
Yes. I I don't disagree. All I'm saying is she broke the law and she got in trouble for it,
Okay,
which
then
is true.
we should change the law.
Okay.
And we should yell at the people who are in charge of laws until they change it properly.
Yeah, then do that.
Okay, I am. Great. I am. Hey, South Carolina, your laws are wrong. Change them. Okay. What do we got? We got fair and balanced. Murdoch's private messages show Fox News was instructed to help Republicans. Now, I want to know who instructed him. So this is more on Fox News and the fact that they lie for a lot of money. Um,
I don't think I saw this one either. Did I?
did I send it to you, or does this just pop up this morning? I might have just noticed this morning.
All right.
Uh,
What do we got?
let's see. Numerous instances Fox. Fox Corporation chairman brazenly directed the network's leadership to help the Republican Party. Um, Murdoch gave Jared Kushner confidential information about then candidate Joe Biden's ads, along with debate strategy in 2020, a preview of Biden's ads before they were public. So Joe Biden and or a PAC of some sort pays for an ad and then gives that ad to Fox News to run on their commercial breaks, pays them for it, and Murdoch gives that to the opposition, Jared Kushner, and says, "Hey, here's what their commercials are."
Yeah, sounds shisty.
Donald Trump complained all the time. Wah, they're spying on me. Wah, the FBI's coming to get me. Wah, they're spying on my campaign. When he's literally getting campaigns spied on.
Well, wait a second. This is an improperly, and I think by Murdoch, an improper handling of of advertisement
Mm-hmm.
plots. Trump's phones were actually wiretapped.
Of course they were. So were Obama's.
So
So were
he's
George W. Bush's. So were Bill Clinton's. So were Ronald Reagan's.
so he wasn't lying.
No,
It
he's
was
just too
when I was
dumb.
wiretapped.
Right. Anybody who runs for president gets very thoroughly investigated and has their phone tapped. 100%. If he didn't know that, he's an idiot. I know that. Why doesn't
If
he
you
know
say so.
that? Why doesn't he know that? Regardless, this is, I mean, he complains about being treated unfairly, and then people treat Biden unfairly, and he profits from it, and he likes it. He's bad. So, yeah, it's just more junk about them. Uh, Fox News is bad and should not be allowed to be called news. I think they're allowed to say what they're saying, but we should all know that they are lying and tell them that they're lying, or else you wouldn't be get called news. I'm not news. I'm looking at the news and giving people my opinion. Political uh, debate, political analysis, political looking at it, paying attention, seeing what it looks like, and making predictions out of my ass. But I'm not a news source.
Okay,
Fox
fair
News,
enough.
on the other hand, says that they're news. So that gives people a unreal expectation that they are telling you the true things. But they're very much not telling true things, and they're playing the game behind the scenes. They're giving things to Jared Kushner. They're a preview of Biden's ads before they were public, and they're telling things that they know are lies. They're having on Sidney Powell to claim nonsense, and then they don't follow up with it, and they don't call her out on her nonsense. Uh, I don't, and this goes back to the first thing we talked about, where are you allowed to sue for these kinds of things? And I would say the libel laws already exist, and Dominion is using them, and that proves that they work.
I think that the amount of coverage that Fox had to give to the Dominion stuff before it became possible for Dominion to sue them is too much.
Okay,
I mean, we're
that's
talking
fine. Yeah,
about
and
months and months of coverage.
that's consistent with what you were saying earlier, and that's fine. I'm okay with that.
So I do think that Dominion should be allowed to sue them.
Okay,
I just think that Dominion should have been able to sue them earlier.
sooner. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. New TikTok ban is poised to advance in Congress. Now, I don't know TikTok. I get it, short little videos, but we don't like it. Why don't we like it? Do you know anything about this?
It's a Chinese application that feeds data to China. Pretty much why. Um, I don't like it because of its effects on people.
Okay.
But that's the reason for the bill is it's a Chinese spyware app.
And what does a Chinese spyware app do to harm us? I'm not saying it's not. It most likely is. But so is
Well,
Facebook, and so
I
is
don't know about
YouTube, and so is all the other
in, I don't know
social media
about in terms
platforms.
of national security. That's something for the elected officials to figure out. Um, I think in the way that it harms people is TikTok specifically, but also anything that focuses on bite-sized little bits of media. So like, I mean, you'll have to forgive me, YouTube Shorts, and your Instagram Reels or Facebook Reels or whatever. Um, they are bad for people. There have been studies at this point on these very short little clips that are showing that they are leading to reduced working memory, reduced attention span, uh, increased levels of anxiety, stress, and depression. And yeah, those are not good things for our society. So I don't like TikTok. Whether it's
because
a Chinese spyware app or not, I don't like it.
because the tiny little clips make us have a shorter attention span.
Yeah, it uh, it messes up people's brains.
Okay, but we don't know if
It
China's doing
also,
something to harm us with this thing.
yeah, I don't know anything about the national security aspect of it. All I know is it's a Chinese spyware app, and I don't
I
know
know that's
what
what
they're
I've heard.
taking.
That's what I've heard 1,000 times. But I'm like, well, what are they doing with it? I mean, Facebook is an American spyware app,
Yes,
and we're not putting bills against that.
I imagine we're probably working with them,
Right? Exactly. So
just like
what
the
are
Chinese government is working with TikTok.
okay to do what? They're working
I don't know. What
together.
are the
It doesn't say.
what's the
Nobody
American
says.
government do with its data that it collects? I mean,
I don't think they do anything with it. That's why I don't care.
okay,
They make
I
digital
could see it.
ads. They make ads. They target ads at you. We might have to. I know you and I have a mutual friend who very much cares about these things. I might bring him on next week
Sounds good.
to tell
Maybe he
us
can
how
shed some light on.
nightmarish it is. Because he and I have had this discussion before. He talks about digital ads as if they're uh, harming my children. And I'm like, no, I don't care about digital ads. I
Yeah,
would
see, I think
love
it's.
for ads to
I,
be far more targeted towards me. There has been a very large portion of my life that I have watched car commercials. I do not ever, and I never have I ever, bought a car because of a TV commercial. But I have seen hundreds and thousands of hours of car commercials or truck commercials or this one or that one. They have the catchy little theme songs, and I hate all of them. And I have never bought a car because of them, and I never will. But I have to continue to see them. Like, I would rather they digitally know what I want to see. And if I never saw another car commercial for the rest of my life, I would be happy. If if Facebook has to scan my brain and put me in a number and put me in a system and I never see another car ad, I might sign up for it.
wow. All right,
How many car ads have you seen? I mean, if you just
probably a lot.
lots, you just turn on the television and there's car ads after car after all the time, constantly. And I do not give a damn about JD Power or his associates. Yet, you know that name, don't you?
It's familiar, but I don't know what they do.
It's the stupid fake awards that they give to cars so they can put in their commercials. It's nonsense. Yet
Oh
they
yeah, yeah,
have
yeah.
JD Power and Associates. Yeah, it's on every car commercial, and I do not care. I've never bought anything because they told me to.
But the JD Power Award didn't sway you
No,
to
no, it didn't. It hasn't, and it never will. But I have their name imprinted in my brain, and it can't go away because I've seen thousands of hours of these car commercials, and I welcome our uh, algorithm overlords that only show me the commercials for things I want. I welcome it with open arms. And maybe I'm wrong, but we'll try and I'll try and organize that for next week, and then maybe I'll do this rant again. Okay, what do we got? House Dem report. It's official. Jim Jordan's weaponization panel is a sham.
so this one I'm not prepared to talk about
Okay,
because it's 316 pages.
I know. Um, I will say that Jim Jordan is a dumbass and an idiot and a liar, and he's upset about the Democrats weaponizing the uh, federal government against Republicans, and he's got the cart before the horse. The government is coming after Republicans, but it's because they're criminals.
Wow.
Uh,
All right.
Uh, this is my opinion. You don't have to share it, but this man is a criminal, and he's upset that the cops are coming after him, and he calls it weaponization. Yes, from his position, from his opinion, the cops are weaponized against him. The FBI is weaponized against him. Yes, they are, because Republicans are criminals. They Donald Trump is a criminal. He has broken many, many, many laws. And when the government tries to stop you from breaking laws, you feel oppressed. And so that's what this is about. Um, Two of the so-called whistleblowers received financial support from a Trump ally. Witnesses before this guy's very important panel were paid indirectly by Trump. And it's nothing. It's not. And he's trying to find proof that the liberal deep state is out to get him and out to get Republicans. And this is why they're out to get you. Jim Jordan, my friend, they're out to get you because you're bad. Um,
I will allow your opinion to stand uncontested because
okay.
I did not do any preparation for this one.
I've been trying to pay attention to it, and uh, the this came up a couple of days ago, and so yeah, Jan 6 needed to be investigated, and they're screaming bloody murder about the people who are doing the investigation and saying they're uh, one-sided and things like that. Um, and they kind of are. They're one-sided against crime. uh, so I think I've said all I can about that one. I'm gonna close that. I'm gonna close that. HB991. Okay. And birth rates. There we go. Okay, so that's all the wild, crazy news. Is there anything that you want to bring up, or ideas that you had, or uh, things in the news that we didn't talk about?
Hmm. I could have sworn I saw something and now I forgot what it was. So it might be on my phone actually. No, I don't think so.
Okay. Should I download Twitter? I don't want to, but I'll
Uh,
be damned if it ain't the best place to get news.
I mean, you could.
I don't want to, but it could also drive people towards the channel to become subscribers. Then we could get above 11. We could start moving towards the triple digits.
Getting ambitious, are we?
I know. It's going right to my head.
That 10 subscriber play button gave you that thirst for more.
Right. Okay. Well, that's all for the news. Do you want to go through the intro of Final Fantasy VI?
Sure.
Because I would watch that with you.
All right. Let's do this.
I'm going to stop streaming my screen to you. Then, if you shared your screen with me, there we go.
Okay. Well, folks, that ends the political debate half of the stream. We're going to do some actual game streams since we've previously been classified as a game stream on accident.
It's because I don't press the right buttons. It's true. It is often that I fly through the YouTube menus and put the wrong things in there.
All right, should I go with any extras? Let's see. Nope. All right. How about my configuration? My keyboard settings telling me. Ooh. Run is backspace. What's shift going to be? I think shift might need to be my run.
Oh, you don't have a gamepad?
A gamepad.
Like a controller. Hook it up your computer.
Oh, I guess I got an Xbox 360 controller I could try.
Well, if it's, I wouldn't try it right now.
Oh,
Those
let's give
things
it a
can be
shot.
tricky. If it's wireless, it won't work.
Oh no, it's wired.
It's wired, so it might work.
Yeah, let's find out. I bought it so I could play Splitgate with a controller
Mm-hmm.
and Halo, but then I stopped playing both of those games. So it hasn't gotten a ton of use, but it sits right on top of my computer for when it's needed next. All right, gamepad settings. Now you can tell I'm using a gamepad because I'm not clicking from one thing to another.
Have you shared your screen? Because I don't see anything.
I have shared my stream. Let's see. Stop streaming. Share your screen. FF6. Go live. How about now?
It's just gray.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
How about now? Oh, nope. How about now? Oh, fuck. It wants me to sign up for Discord Nitro. How about now?
Something's moving. What is it? I've got a real weird screen now. My Discord has gone nuts. I might lose you. Hang on. You still there?
It seems that you disconnected.
Discord is being weird.
That
Okay,
is
now I
strange.
see your screen down there. I'm going to hit the pop out button. I can see it.
Okay, you can see it now?
On my screen, yeah.
All right. So I've got my gamepad going. Confirm. Back. Open close menu. It's Y. Map is X. All right. Hold B to run. Ooh, LBRB. Switch party members. Page up and down. And then mini map on and off. All right. The ancient war of the Magi. When its flames at last receded, only the charred husk of a world remained. Even the power of magic was lost. In 1,000 years that followed, iron, gunpowder, and steam engines took the place of magic, and life slowly returned to the barren land. Okay, so the magic is gone, and people develop technology because of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yet there now stands one who could reawaken the magic of ages past and use its dreaded power as a means by which to conquer all the world. Nah, it'll be like Voldemort. We'll just shoot him with a gun.
Just shoot him with a gun.
Yeah. Can anyone truly be foolish enough to repeat that mistake? Yeah, like remember when... Did you ever see the Potter Puppet Pals?
No, I haven't seen
Uh-oh.
most Harry Potter things.
Oh, okay.
I was a little too old for it.
Oh, am I supposed to play now?
No.
Oh. It's just like sitting there.
It's setting the scene.
Oh,
Should. Yeah,
there we go. There's the city. Hard to believe an Esper's been found frozen there 1,000 years after the War of the Magi. Ah, probably just an wild goose chase. I don't know. They wouldn't have let its user unless they were confident the intel was good. You know, there's a character in Final Fantasy X named Wedge.
Mm-hmm.
He's a blitzball player.
Got started, and there's Biggs, yeah.
Oh, yeah. 50 Magitech soldiers in 3 minutes. Mindless puppet. Oh, so that girl right there is what they're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hold on.
Look at that. You like that mode 7?
Oh yeah.
Now this has been greatly increased since it was on the SNES, but this basically happened on the SNES and it was amazing. We all went nuts for it.
Nice.
Because you could see it in this and F-Zero as well, that racing game. So the way it rolls towards you and then the background comes up over the top, that was a big technological leap back in the 90s.
Wow.
And then you hear that music back there with like
Yeah.
the drum, almost like a march.
Was this like very MIDI version? The original release?
Yeah, it was on SNES hardware, so it was a MIDI song back then.
Yeah.
You're getting a much better. You're getting the orchestrated version of what the composer wanted back then.
Very nice.
So you see the storm up above them. That was at the very beginning when you left it, right when you turn on the game and it gives you that storm and the lightning and stuff. That's what's above them. So the storms are coming. And there's the city. You're bringing a storm down to them. Trouble's coming. I love this intro because the very beginning they have the storm above and then they have the city below and then you are the problem. You are the thing that's coming for them.
I see. So I'm about to fuck up a city right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're saying.
Even though you don't want to.
Mm. All right. Okay. All right. Time to play. Can I go in here? Oh. I got business, bitch.
You just killed a dog. Way to go.
Awesome. It looks like I do have business here. Oh. Oh, these guys suck.
Yeah, she's better than them. Now you killed some civilians. Way to go. See, this is.
Well, they shouldn't have. They shouldn't have stepped to me, man. What are they doing?
So yeah, was there a Call of Duty controversy? No Russian or whatever, where you had to kill civilians and stuff like that to play the game,
Something like that.
and it was a big deal. But this happened in the 90s, you know.
All right, let's find out what the Magitech missile does. I might not get the chance. Oh yeah, I will. Oh!
Bam! Take that.
Oh, that's my favorite one now. America.
Yeah, she's much better than those guys.
Oh yeah, we're doing that again.
Bam. Blowing up civilians.
So with 10 being my first game,
Mhm.
I got really used to like the turn-based strategy system that they have in that game.
Mhm.
So the active time battle system has always been kind of foreign to me.
You can slow it down, and if you put it on wait, it's in the menu. I don't know if you've set it to wait or active, but I would very much suggest putting it on wait.
Oh, okay.
You're surrounded. Oh no. You can't change it now. You got to go.
I
to the
can't do
remote
that
menu.
here.
Yeah.
Okay.
After battle.
Ha! I'm gonna blow up civilians with my missiles.
Mm-hmm.
I leveled up. Is there a leveling system?
Yeah.
I guess it'll teach me that later, huh?
Yeah, it will. It'll teach you everything. I would go into the configuration and then just double check. Battle mode is weight. Yeah, you're on weight. You want weight.
Oh, it's already on weight?
Yeah, that
Okay.
is fine. That means that on that screen, when you're looking at all those screens where you pick fire beam, ice beam, magic attack, missile, you can stop and wait and read what they say. And then
I
the
see.
game pauses and the enemies won't do new things while you're doing
Okay.
that. Because you're going to get a hell of a list of things to do and abilities to make, spells to cast and all that shit.
What's that orange arrow on the left side of my mini map there? Do I need to be over there?
It means you can go. I mean, it's a door. The minimap says that's a door.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I agree
Whoa.
with Shinsinto in chat. He says music from this game some of my all-time favorite. I agree. Super good music. So right there on that screen where you're looking at the fire beam and ice beam, you can slow down and read what they are. And
I see.
They won't take actions while you're doing that.
Are these chests that open or no?
No, that's just scenery.
No. So let me save. There we go.
You didn't save.
What?
You didn't save, boss.
God damn it.
This is the 90s. You have to do it manually.
Well,
Don't forget they also have
I mean-
healing beam. Since your hit points are a little less than, a lot less than half. You're at a
yeah.
third on Biggs and Wedge down there.
it's a little dangerous, huh? Let's see. Am I able to use... Yeah.
There it is.
Now I should be able to...
Now you go into the menu. Go to save. Pick a file. Complete. Okay. There is no autosave in this game at all.
Okay.
It must be done manually.
So it's like Kingdom Hearts 1.
Yeah.
So does the save point restore my mana?
No. You can use an item at the save point called a sleeping bag or a tent, but I don't think you have either.
Nope. Oh boy.
At the blinking light, you can use a sleeping bag on a single person, or you can use a tent on all your people.
Okay.
Surprise! Giant snail. Nobody saw that coming.
Scary. A lightning whelk. Okay, so we won't use lightning. We'll just use missiles.
Whatever you do, don't attack the shell.
Don't attack it. What about with missiles?
I don't know. They said
I'm
don't
not using
attack
Thunder Beam.
They said don't attack the shell. You do what you do. You live your life.
Oh, that probably counts as an attack against the shell, huh? Oh, a banisher. Oh, lame.
Banish is an auto death attack, so it misses on bosses. So this is you can You can spend time that way, or you can do defend, or you can do Magitech heal beams to yourself. This is trying to get you ready for the ATB and saying that sometimes your actions take a moment before they go off.
This thing has a lot of health.
Mm-hmm. Oh, dead
Oh, there
balls.
it goes.
Hooray.
I killed the snail.
You killed a snail. Missiles solve everything. That's
Exactly.
right.
Present to you the Jericho.
Listen to that saxophone.
Oh yeah. All right, I'm pretty dumb, so I've been reading that as Frozen Spear every time it came up.
Frozen
It's
Esper.
like- yeah.
It's left over from the War of the Magi.
What? Oh man, they are getting Thanos
Dead.
snapped.
They're getting Thanos snapped. Yeah, Espers are too strong for you. Eat it, Biggs and Wedge. You die. And you know they're from Star Wars, right? They were... Biggs and Wedge were fighter pilots in A New Hope.
Really?
Mm-hmm. That's where they stole the names from in this game.
Huh.
There
That's
are
neat.
a handful of Star Wars references within this game. You'll probably notice them. You might notice them. I mean, there is an evil empire, so. But yeah, Biggs and Wedge then go on into the other game. 7, they're members of Avalanche. 8, they're random guards. 9, the two goofy little soldiers, if I remember correctly. So
So they were Thanos snapped and forced to traverse the multiverse and be side characters in
there's
every
a
game.
silly fan theory that puts them into other games and into Chrono Trigger as well.
Oh, wow. Terra. Okay. Do I keep the same name?
I would, but that's just so that it'll be easier for me to talk about.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll leave it for this. I'm not 14 years old anymore and naming all my characters bitch or cock. So, you know.
Yeah.
It won't let me confirm.
You have to hit enter on your keyboard. I don't know why,
Oh.
but it. Then you just say yes.
It's like Pokemon when you named your rival and you called him ass face.
Right. Then you kill all his Pokemon and steal his grandpa's love. It's very messed
Yeah.
up.
Mystifying woman.
Yeah, they added achievements.
Hey, I got an elixir.
Yeah, clocks always have good stuff. I don't know why. This is a weird game. Like all the best treasure is hidden inside clocks.
Well, there's people here.
Yeah, it was the Dords that The guards at the door.
Oh,
They're trying to catch her. Since you did just kill a bunch of their friends and civilians.
I'm gonna go back to bed. I like that.
Just go to bed. Ignore it.
Yeah.
Anybody got time for that? Now the cancel button I think makes you run.
Oh, I'm going sideways. Oh, I'm on a bridge.
Up there, get her.
They know she can do like missiles, right?
She could in that giant suit of armor,
Yeah.
but that
I mean,
armor's
if
been blown up now. They got a little bit
I
better
can't
of a chance.
I can't do thunder beams anymore.
Nope. That was only in the armor.
So they gave me a taste of power, and then they took it away.
For the tutorial, yeah.
Well, find out what I can do next. I have the same amount. Well, what the fuck? Kill this spritz. Okay. Did I just punch that thing?
You hit it with a knife. You can check your
Oh, I
equipment
have knives.
in a minute.
Okay.
Yeah.
This guy brought a wrench to a knife fight.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really bad idea. I watched John Wick last night, and it's definitely the knives that you want.
Putting you in the mood. Okay.
Yeah.
You can check your equipment on that screen right there. Yeah, you got equip. You got a mithril knife, leather hat.
Oh, mithril knife, dude. You know that takes like 50 attack to equip in RuneScape.
I know it's the weakest weapon in this entire game.
Mithril is the weakest in this game?
Only that knife. Like there's some mithril swords that are about mid-range, but then later, like you'll be getting such gigantic elemental lightsaber nightmares that like cast spells after you swing them. That this mithril knife is literally nothing.
we went straight over bronze and iron and steel, and we went straight to mithril.
Right.
And that's the weakest. All right.
That's a knife, so it's very tiny. I think there's like a iron sword is the next one up, and then like a steel.
It's not about the size; it's how you use it.
And
Okay.
then a mithril sword is really good, but well, not really good, but like still low to mid range. And then if you go to abilities, you can see which spells she has, stuff like that. Magic.
She ain't got shit.
Cure and fire. It's more than any other human in the world.
Oh, true. Back attack.
Mm-hmm.
Ow. Okay, so the whoever's on the right has the initiative.
Not quite. I mean,
Oh, okay.
kinda, but not really. It's all just based on speed. You got attacked from behind, so they did have initiative on this time.
Gotcha.
Now, if you move your cursor to the right, once you're choosing fire, you can cast it on both.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Most
Alright.
spells are multicastable, including cure spells, and some of the heal spells are multicastable. Bye, Biggs and Wedge. You died.
Oh well. That's what happens when you get Thanos snapped by a snail.
Mm-hmm.
Or no, it wasn't the snail that did that. It was the Esper.
Esper. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you went to magic,
Snails can't snap their fingers. What am I
snails don't
thinking?
have fingers, and then you fire, and there you go. Now
Hey.
it's all both.
Nice. So that up there, if I were to go up those stairs, that's not a chest, is it?
That is a treasure chest.
Oh. Look at
And a
that.
phoenix down.
Looks just like those boxes from earlier.
It does look similar. I would say yeah, that does look similar.
Got him. She's strong.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
Sleeping bag.
go sleep. Too much. I need a nap. Now, is it single use?
Single use.
Oh,
Why
fuck.
are sleeping bags single use? I have no idea.
Yeah, that don't make sense.
You can use a sleeping bag many times. Same with tents. Well, I don't know. It's just a weird 90s video game thing.
Maybe it's because they don't shower, so they're filthy and disgusting, and you can only use the sleeping bag one
They're
time.
all worn out, maybe.
That looks like a secret tunnel. Oh,
It might be
Alright.
later.
this dude threw a wrench at me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't appreciate
You're
it.
throwing fire, so
Well, he
you're
deserves
definitely
it. He's a bandit. Got to top off in case, you know.
winning. Mm-hmm. Oh, they got you.
You know I can multicast fire, right? Ah,
Blop.
that looked like a long way. Yeah, yeah.
These are her memories, yeah.
So Kefka's the clown guy, right?
Yeah, he is very similar to the Joker.
Yeah, I remember him from Final Fantasy, the one that they mashed up all Dissidia.
Yeah, Dissidia. And this is, yeah, her training to become a soldier. Yay. Here's the Emperor. And then we all they censored that. It used to be just the right arm.
Oh, jeez.
But yeah, in the 90s on the original SNES version, it was just the right arm.
Wow. All right.
There's a few censored things in this game. In this version that you're playing, anyway. Now, see how he reacts, and it's pointed at you.
Yeah.
That's because this isn't modeled off of cinematics and movies like 7, 8, 9, and 10. This is a stage play. So he's looking right at you. He's looking at you, doing emotions and stuff like that, like you would on a stage play. And I think it's
So yeah, I imagine they can't properly animate a lot of this stuff if they're facing away.
right, and so they kind of bend the instead of making a cinematic movie like you get in the later ones. These earlier ones are more akin to plays. I think it's interesting. And this is your friend Locke, the thief, who doesn't like to be called a thief.
Well, maybe he shouldn't steal things then.
I don't know. These are the Muggles.
Are they going to allow me to craft legendary weapons later?
Those Muggles? No.
Oh.
They're not going to
But
deliver
Muggles will.
mail. They are tutorializers, though.
Excellent question. Do I wing it?
I don't know what button you've set up, but the explanation isn't
alright.
very long. L button to switch between them. Okay, there you go.
L, switch. Okay. Oh, that was quick. Right.
Yep. Walk down there, and then if you hit L, you control the other one.
Nice.
If the soldiers get to her, you lose.
Well, then what if I just do that? All right, Locke, let's go. I'm murk these guys.
You get some Moogles. Moglin, Mogret, and Moggy.
Ooh, they're strong.
Mm-hmm.
What?
That was weird. I didn't see one standing there, right?
Me neither. These guys have. Nobody has cleared.
Yeah, you can't change anything they've got. Don't forget, you got 2 other crews. They could.
Well, that's true. Let's What's up, buddy? That snowstorm's gnarly.
Mm-hmm. You got a boomerang.
Oh, sweet. Ooh, someone learned an ability.
Mog
Right,
can
Becky.
dance.
Nice. Kill it. God, that fucking ability hurts so much.
Mm-hmm.
Got him. These guys are done.
Yeah, switch to the fresh team. There you go.
Nah, I'm going back to Locke.
Okay.
He's gonna be in my party for a while. I gotta level him up.
Right.
He's got a lot of levels, though. Now,
Boss music.
ooh. Boomerang. Cosmog is the Sokka of this story. What's charging? Yeah. Oh,
Oh no, Moggsy's down.
what?
You're good.
Wow. Dangerous.
You beat the boss. You're good. Um, so he gets to save the day, even though the Moogles did all the work.
Amnesia.
Yeah. It's the 90s.
Ah,
Everybody has amnesia.
don't worry. I'll stick by your side until it comes back. I'm not
Yeah.
just gonna abandon you, even though I just met you.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't really tell from the picture art, but she must be pretty hot.
This might be a character thing for him. So that building right there is the tutorial zone.
This building?
Yeah, talk to that guy and then go in the door. And the school for beginners. There's some free stuff in there. There's a bucket that gives you all your hit points and magic points back. And adventuring school. Adventuring school. That's the advanced class.
Oh. Well, I'm
Advanced
advanced.
battle tactics. That's the battle tactics. And that's the field science. Also, there's a treasure box back there. But it's noon. I'm gonna call off the stream right here. You should talk to
Oh,
all of these
fuck.
guys. Yeah. You should talk to all these guys. He's teaching you that sometimes monsters are inside chests.
Hmm.
And if you kill them, you get treasure, usually.
Well,
So,
let me go ahead and save, and I'll call it as well.
I would suggest you talk to those guys, listen to what they say. They'll tell you how the game works and a lot of the systems. And then in the advanced one, if you don't get it, I can help you out. But a lot of the advanced stuff hardly ever happens, you know? It's not
Gotcha.
early game kind of stuff. And that's it for the stream today. We did a good job. We had a whole bunch of news. We have a whole bunch of things to look at and talk about.
I think it worked out pretty well. So, that's it for this week. I think. Did Donald Trump talk at CPAC? Is it something you want to watch?
Maybe.
I'll see if he did or if he's going to. We might watch it live. I'm not sure if he hadn't already.
Sounds good.
And thanks for all the chatters in here that are giving us good chats and stuff like that. Thanks, Kyle. Thanks, Shinsen Do. And that's a stream. Everybody